Have cornered the modern market on gee-whiz special effects. However, Leonard Maltin joins us now with one of the men who first put the fantasy into fantasy adventure. Right, Leonard?
Absolutely, John. At a recent video convention, I got to spend a little time with one of my heroes, a man whose name may not be familiar to everyone, but whose work I think is. Ray Harryhausen has spent his life making fantasies come true on film. He's the subject of a new documentary that examines his life and career and spotlights many of his greatest creations. The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, The Three Worlds of Gulliver, Jason and the Argonauts. These are just a few of the incredible fantasies brought to life by Ray Harryhausen, artist and special effects genius. There were no computers to carry out this work. These figures were animated one frame at a time.
It took about a week and a half to shoot the live action, and then I had to spend 4.5 months putting the skeletons in so that they would synchronize with the people. So a sequence like that lasts 5 minutes perhaps would take 4.5 months.
But painstaking work like that is nothing new to Harryhausen. He's been doing it since he was a teenager. Inspired by King Kong, he experimented with the process known as stop-motion animation, and these were some of his first attempts in the 1930s. Pretty impressive. Harryhausen's diligence and expertise got him jobs early on, but he really came into his own in the 1950s and 60s. At the time, fantasy films like these were considered grade B product by Hollywood, and multi-million-dollar budgets were just a pipe dream. But Harryhausen got the job done. You once said you thought you were born 10 years too early. Why do you feel that way?
Sometimes when I look around and I see the titles on so many special effects pictures today, and there are 80 people doing what I used to do by myself. 80 people listed on the credits. Sometimes the credits almost as long as the pictures.
But it's easy to see what the key ingredient is in all of Harryhausen's work. He loves what he does. Even when he showed me some of his models, he did so with such youthful enthusiasm, I could tell that this was a man who will always be young at heart. That's probably why his films are still so wonderful to watch. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. I thought so when I was a kid. I still think so now. If you want to know more about Harryhausen, you can see a new documentary coming out on video next month from Fast Forward Video called Aliens, Dragons, Monsters, and Me. Or you can go to the video store tonight and get some of his best films like Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, my favorite, or Jason and the Argonauts, which he told me was pretty much his favorite.
Now, Leonard, I know when you were a kid you must have had an 8mm camera.
Yes, I did try, John, but I never was any good with clay. I tried doing some other kind of animation. But this is, and you got to have just enormous patience to do this.
It holds up against that T2 stuff we had earlier.
Oh, it sure does.
Really great. Thanks,
Leonard.
Leonard. We'll be right back.
Pretty good about